here we are in the content dashboard, and I'm going to show you how the consistency tracker works, or content tracker. The principle is exactly the same in this content dashboard, my blogger planner and the social media planner. So same concept in both. So let's go to the content tracker. So within the content tracker, you will see a completion rate table. So it shows you how well you've done for tracking consistently the appropriate thing that you want to track. And then a daily checklist table. Now the concept we have is that within each day, so for social media, say you plan to track let's say an Instagram post every day. So all you need to do is create a new item and put in whether you've done it or not. So let's put Instagram post, and let's say I did a TikTok, and leave it at that. In a similar way to the goals tracker, it's all built around relationships between the two. So each record within the daily checklist needs to be related to a particular completion rate that it's related to. So by just adding these in, what we've got, if I open this up, this is the tracker table, there is no automatic relationship. So if add a filter, so this filter here is saying show all of the daily checklists that have got a name daily checklist. That then automatically populates the item with daily checklist. So you don't need to think about, I've got to name it each time. So I'm trying to automate it as much as I can. So if we now add a filter that says tracker table where, and I'm going to say contains the 2023 completion rates. So you'll notice that everything disappeared from that table field, from the calendar. So if we go to the table field, it's all still there. So what we now need to do, let's come back to that. I will update that in a minute, but I'll show you what I mean. So I think we got up to about that day there. So if I just put plus in there and then put Instagram posts, as you can see down here, we have an automatic relationship with the 2023 completion rates now. So that will stay for every new one that gets created. So by having that filter in there, it will automatically populate the record for you. So if I just now update all of these, let's do the ones that haven't got it. Then let's do an edit property, tracker table, and pick 2023 completion rates. And so you can now see that in this table we have the overall completion rate for each of the type of thing that we're tracking is appearing, but the individual rate hasn't. So adding the relationship to the overall yearly target filter in, but it's not doing it on a monthly basis. So we need to create that relationship on the monthly basis. Now, doing that automatically is not as easy as the annual one. And we can't add to this filter the monthly one, because as soon as you start adding in extra bits into there, so it contains this or it contains this, it can only contain one for it to automatically populate it. So it needs to be specific. If you do a if and or statement in your filter, then it won't know which one to set, so it doesn't set either. So you've got to have it as a specific item. So by having this one, it will happen for everyone and it's consistent, and you can go through the year following the calendar as is, and you'll always get that one right. But it won't do it on a monthly basis. So you could create a new view that also has it on the month, but it will then only create it for the month and not the year. So it's a little bit more challenging. So I found the easiest way is to have the display view. I've displayed what the year is, what the month is. If you wanted to track by day, I've displayed what the day is. But if you then go through, right, okay, I'm doing all of January. So let's do a edit property, tracker table, and I'm putting January in there. And that should have populated the January statements there. So it's just something to bear in mind when you create these items, that if you're wanting to track it on a monthly basis, you then need to still create the relationships, which is what all of these notes are trying to tell you. So when it comes to a new year, unless you're keeping the name of this particular tracker, then you will need to change the filter to be 2024. If you're doing it year agnostic, so you're not doing it, then obviously you don't need to change it, but then you need to clear out the data from the previous year so it just doesn't get added on. So there's all things to think about. It depends how complex or how much effort you want to put into the tracking. There are ways of automatically linking it, but again, it's not really that straightforward. So we could create relationships to the content itself so that you can then automatically have that. And I have linked in a video here that shows how to change all of these calculations to make it relevant to you. And to automate it if need be, but I just didn't. I haven't put it in the base planner because I thought it was more complicated and more difficult to explain than just leaving it like this. It's easy to see these, and I can just go through and check. Check them from the record itself, and there we have it. So I mean, I can create it. You could go through on a monthly basis and create all of them, and then each day, so I could duplicate this multiple times, duplicate, and so go back to the content tracker, and we have multiple days in there, so I can fill out the month in one go. I can fill out the relationships in one go by going to the table, and then it's all about just checking that. So as part of my month end processes would be to set up the coming month for the daily checklist. So that's how I see this working, so that you can monitor it. And again, you know, if you don't tweet, if you don't use Facebook, if you don't use TikTok, then remove those checkpoints from here, because you will never get 100%, because it is basing it against filling it out all of the checkboxes. So if you don't use them and you don't plan to use them, remove them, and then you can then see your true figures. Got any questions? Please drop a comment below and I will answer them as best I can.